But let's get to the result itself. Let's dissect the series and then weave in those comments, Tyler, as it is Damwon extracting revenge from their 2019 quarterfinal exit in emphatic fashion. They set the record for shortest game in world's history, and I believe it is fourth on the international charts. And this is, if there was ever a way to get revenge, Tyler, this was it.
Yeah, this was everything Damwon could have hoped for and more. We've talked about it all tournament long, since even like the first episodes of Wake Up Worlds, about Damwon wants this matchup. They want G2. They don't want them in the quarters. They don't want them in the group stages. They want them in the semis. They want them in the finals. They want to embarrass G2. They want to take everything G2 worked for and flush it down the drain, essentially. And it was a series, and we're going to dive obviously a lot more into what happened, the players, the dynamics, what went wrong, what went right. But I think overall, I think we can summarize the series as a really incredible team, an amazing, incredible, talented, exciting to watch team face a team that might be one of the best of all time. Damwon might be one of the best League of Legends teams of all time. G2 is not that. And I think today that level was shown. And it's nothing taking away from G2 Esports. They're an incredible team. One of the most talented teams in the World Championship. 5 players who are experienced, all know how to play the game at the highest level. You could say all 5 are world-class players, but Damwon learned from what they were given last year by G2. They went into the workshop. They were fueled by their embarrassment, fueled by that loss to G2 in Madrid. And this year, they repackaged themselves after a disappointing spring. They've been utterly incredible in the summer, and they are one best of 5 away from being called one of the best teams of all time. And depending on how well they play in this final, it would be a debate: are they up there with Samsung Way? Are they up there with SKT 2015? That's where they are right now. They are close to that pantheon. No team has gone close to that pantheon since 2015 and 2015 SKT. Can Damwon do that? Because today, this is not a bad G2 team. This is not a out-of-form G2 team. This was the G2 that smashed Gen G. This is the G2 that had one of the best games of all time at Worlds against Suning, and they were absolutely crushed in the fastest game in Worlds history by Damwon, who is just a special team.
25% of you selected Damwon to defeat G2, which just goes to show you, yes, one of us selected Damwon over G2. Take a wild guess who predicted Damwon to win this series.
Feels good. Feels good.
ESPN.com/League of Legends predictor. You can play for free. You can pick your choices for the finals. It's not open yet, obviously, but you can get there eventually. And if you have the ESPN Fantasy app, you just click on the trophy tab. You can play. You can create custom groups. You can invite your friends. It's a whole lot of fun. So going back to this series, let's dissect lane by lane, player by player. If you were to pinpoint, Tyler, one matchup in particular that was really one of the biggest causes, if not the biggest cause, for Damwon to win this series, which one would it be?
I think it's very difficult to say it was one position, Arda, because the thing is, Damwon it's such a team-focused meta where you're playing through the jungle, where your support is unlocked from the bottom lane, where you are, skirmishing throughout the jungler, you are roaming, making plays on a TF or another global ultimate champion to go to the top lane, to go to the bottom lane. I think overall it was another kind of indication that Kanan's made for this meta. Jankos, great player. This was not his meta to thrive in. He's a player that enables his laners. This is a meta where most of the laners are enabling the jungler. So I don't want to pinpoint one position and say one position just got torn up by the rest. I think this was overall systematic dissection by Damwon, where it was from pretty much every single lane through the jungle itself. They kind of just took over outside of that game too, which I don't want to say that Damwon trolled, but it's very similar to how, Team Liquid beat G2 in that one game in the group stage. And we're like, that was like 90% Team Liquid, 10% G2 kind of playing a wonky draft. Very similar where that was a very confident draft by Damwon, basically picking the Fiora into the Camille, putting Naguri on a split pusher instead of just putting him on a Lulu or something safer to team fight with, like Kennen maybe. And they took the reverse matchup of Silas versus TF, a very kind of arrogant draft that kind of came into their face, kind of blew up in their face. And then the next 2 games played back to their normal style, didn't take anything for granted, and kind of dominated both of those games. So I just think from 1 to 5, it was just Damwon being the better team. Obviously Mickey X had some blunders, but it's not just one player's fault when you get destroyed in 19 minutes. When you lose the fastest game in World's history, it's not one player's fault. You don't just lose through one lane. You lose through all the lanes. And in Game 4, that mental fortitude that we've been talking about, that you've been preaching upon with G2 and how they don't, when their backs are against it wasn't there. They had just a disaster of game where they were trying to find those skirmishes. They were trying to play that jazz music art. They were trying to find those improvised solos and try to make those, chaotic plays. But while they were trying to take those chaotic plays, Ghost was in the bottom lane, free farming on Caitlyn, getting 5 plates. And it was just kind of a summarization of the calamity of that series, where by the end of it, Damwon had just kind of broken G2. And I don't think we've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen G2 that broken.
You could have the greatest orchestra in the entire world, but if your instruments are out of tune, you won't sound good. And it just felt like G2's instruments were out of tune in this series. It felt like, exactly to your point, they just could. Game 2, as much trolling as there was, I thought that was going to be the point where G2 was going to get themselves mentally back into it. Okay, we got the victory here. Maybe we can use this momentum and snowball. But then it was as if Damwon did that intentionally just to hammer the point down that even after a loss, we are going to outplay you in every way, shape, or form, capped off by the way that they absolutely decimated them in Game 4. And so that was just a sublime performance. Okay, let me turn my attention to Caps then, because we saw claps in the quarterfinals. We didn't see claps in the semifinals. So what was it specifically about Caps's play here that he just couldn't get out of the gates in this series?
It was that Damwon prepared for him well. And where Gen G were very keen on kind of just handshaking, all right, we're going to play around ruler. We're okay giving you your space, Caps. We'll let you win lane. We'll give you priority. We'll let you roam around the map. We'll let you have free reign of the jungle. We're going to let you do what you want to do. You can freestyle on us as long as we can try to keep ruler somewhat intact. Damwon, we're expecting everything that kind of Caps was doing. There was one point in the Akali game that was very specific, and I think everyone will remember this if you watch the series, where Caps goes AFK for about 30 seconds. He's in the top side brush, on top side, waiting for Canyon to do Krugs, waiting for him to do Krugs so he can 1v1, solo kill him, move on his merry way, get some gold in his pocket, and get that momentum rolling, Arda. That in a Gen G series, and another series, and other group stage matches where we saw much more chaotic play, we would have seen this happen where, Canyon goes to Krugs, there's Caps out of nowhere, Caps blows him up. But in this instance, they knew where he was. They knew this play was coming, and they had Showmaker shadow Canyon up into that top lane, doing Krugs. They find out Caps, 2v1 him, and he's dead. And all of that momentum that they were trying to get was totally squandered. And that minute of him just AFK in the bush, totally wasted. It just kind of personified the series. And they try to have these crazy skirmishing plays, and it did work in Game 2 when they were trying to play with the Fiora and had that wonky draft. But when Damwon had the global ultimates like the TF, and how superbly Showmaker played throughout the series, kind of shadowing Caps, he was never able to kind of get his own. He was never able to kind of feel free. He was kind of like a bird in a cage, where Caps is at his best when he's flying free, when he feels like he has all this space to work with, when he has all this, canvas to paint. But when he is locked down and neutralized, and they know where he is every second of the map with how superb the vision control of Beryl and Canyon are, and with how good Showmaker was with shadowing Caps throughout the series, he was never able to kind of breathe. And when you have an artist like Caps and you don't give him his space, he kind of can overextend and try to do those hero plays, which he did in the series. And those hero plays turned into embarrassing craps moments where, in the final game, Game 4, We tried to see him 1v1 Showmaker on Silas and gave up the first blood in a solo kill. And it's just really well done by Damwon to show that they can play a myriad of styles, and they can not only bludgeon you in 20-minute games, but they can also just bleed you out and kind of control the entire jungle like an old school South Korean juggernaut. So Damwon is everything. They are looking like one of the best teams of all time, and G2 just wasn't up to snuff.